As of May 3rd, the Canadian supply of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine will come from its manufacturing site in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
For the first time starting next week, Canada's supply of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine will be coming from the U.S., specifically from a plant in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Up until now, the shots have been coming from Belgium. Procurement Minister Anita Anand confirming the update Friday. She says when it comes to Canada's vaccine delivery schedule, no change is expected. But could this mark a beginning of a new boost from our neighbors to the south? 2 million doses of Pfizer's vaccine set to arrive in Canada each week in May. That jumps to 2.4 million each week in June, as was already in the works, confirms Anand. She says the drug maker informed Canadian officials of their plans to ship the shots out of the U.S. instead of Europe.
From the outset, our contract and Health Canada's authorization of the Pfizer vaccine have allowed for deliveries from both the PERS Belgium and the Kalamazoo, Michigan sites. This provides the supplier with the flexibility to ship vaccines from both locations of production and Canada to receive those shipments seamlessly.
Reuters reports Pfizer is also planning to ship vaccines to Mexico from its U.S. plant. The deliveries abroad will be the first after a Trump-era restriction on dose exports expired at the end of March. And the company says it will use its extra capacity in its American facilities to deliver shots to other countries, as the U.S., a major vaccine producer, continues to make strides with its swift vaccination campaign.
This past week, our average was 2.6 million shots per day. 55% of adult Americans now have at least one shot. Today, 100 million Americans are fully vaccinated.
While Canada, which relies entirely on imported doses, got off to a slow start, vaccinations are picking up, with provinces like Quebec and Ontario set to open up eligibility to all adults by mid to late May.
So far, we've distributed more than 15 million doses of vaccines right across the country. Wednesday, almost 1 million doses arrived in Canada, including our first shipment of the single-dose Janssen vaccine.
Now, when it comes to AstraZeneca, while Canada has received a loan of 1.5 million doses from the U.S., so far, none of the 20 million shots expected from an American plant have shipped.
We are being very aggressive.
That's how Anand described talks with the supplier this week.
In terms of reiterating and stressing the importance of having AstraZeneca vaccines under our bilateral APA in the country as soon as possible.
There's also still the unanswered question of what the White House has planned for up to 60 million AstraZeneca shots being produced in the U.S. that country isn't going to use. Another thing we heard from Anand on Friday, though, she says Canada will receive more than 4 million AstraZeneca doses from what she calls a variety of locations before the end of June. Melissa Duggan, City News.